Hello everyone, Sheila back again. Welcome to my channel. I'll shove my phone case there. I have just come up here to do a little bit more of the tutorial for this little cardigan. I'm onto the right front. I've done the back and the left front on it. And I've actually knitted one of the sleeves too, because I only need to do the tutorial for one sleeve. But I've just come back from the post office and it was spitting on to rain a little bit, and I'm glad I went in my car. I was going to walk over, but you know, the clouds were looking a bit ominous and I thought, oh, I'm sure it's going to rain heavy. By the time I got my car out the garage, opened my gates and got the car out, it was spitting on a little bit. But by the time I got round to the post office, it's not even a mile. I have to drive around out of my estate, down to a little roundabout. And just so far along the road, I go over a bridge and there's the shops where the post office is there. Less than a mile. By the time I got there, the heavens had opened. The rain was stotting down off my car. And I had a parcel. And I had a couple of letters for patterns I was posting, and I thought, I'm going to get out of here. These are just going to be drenched. I parked right outside the post office, but I sat in the car for about 2 minutes before waiting for the rain to die off a little bit, and it did die off a little bit, so I got out and dashed into the post office with a parcel and got one or two things I wanted in the post office, and nearly forgot to post the 2 letters because I left them on the seat in the car. I just remembered before I got in the car and I was just about to drive off, and I looked, oh God, I said I'm going to post those 2 letters as well. But the rain had stayed off long enough and it was still just spitting on again when I came home. But those few minutes just getting to the post office, I couldn't believe how heavy it was. And my little bit hair at the front was drenched. I parked just around the corner from the post office, and it's just a few feet to the street and go across around the corner a little bit and into the shop, and you could see my hair was soaking, the front of my hair. I was just getting out the car and getting to the post office. We get some really decent weather sometimes, but then we pay for it days later with weather like this, which just looks like we're going to have a few days rain on and off. But I was at my quiz night last night, and there was only 12 teams. I think a lot of people may have been on holiday and one reason or another, but there's usually about 16 teams, but there was only 12, and we came second. Couldn't believe it when we were totting up the scores and that. What you get 50 questions, general knowledge questions, and what they call a picture around a page with pictures. There's 12 things on, so they are like 50, that's 62 points you can get. But some of the questions in the general knowledge ask you where there's numerous answers, and you can get up to about 5 on the last one. We had to name this was one. It was hilarious, this one. We had to name all the sweets, out of all the sweets in the Quality Street, the proper names that's on the sweets we had to name. We had to name at least 5 of them. I was trying to remember what the name of those sweets were. And I was saying, because there was 3 of us, there was me and my friend Anne and her son Michael. And I says, you know, I never noticed what they call the sweets, I just eat them. But we did, we managed between us, we managed to get 5 of them, but we had, I think, 46.5 points altogether, and we came in second. I think the winners had about 49 points, so we weren't far behind them. So we did get a little bit, as each when we do the quiz, we all put 50 pence. Everybody in all the teams puts 50 pence in towards, and the winner gets a certain amount, and the second place gets a smaller amount, and we got the smaller amount. I think we had about £2.50 each, about between the 3 of the. We split it, so we had about £2.50 each. And then after that, they have a game of what's called rock and roll bingo, where there are names of songs and singers, 15 names of songs and singers instead of the numbers like normal bingo. And they were theme songs from movies last night. So they were easy for me because I do have a lot of trouble hearing Paul, who does the quiz. He speaks through a microphone, and I always have trouble hearing when he's talking through the microphone, even with hearing aids. But if they're talking around the table, I have no trouble at all, but through the microphone must affect my hearing somehow, and I can't hear very well. But they were all songs that I knew from most of the films, and that they were well-known ones, so I got that, we got those. And I won one line, only got £2. But you couldn't split between three. It says you should have made it £3 for the line, and I think it was £2 for one line, £4 for 2 lines, and £14 for the full house. Because there's not as many stop back for the bingo as what's there for the quiz, so we all pay £1 each for the tickets for the. So at least I got the £1 back, and like saying it wasn't worth splitting the money. If it had been £3, we would have had £1 each. But anyway, when I went to the post office today, I had it was a couple of bags. One was a peg bag, and one was a larger project bag with the hard base, the PU leather base things on the bottom, which I was doing for Audrey. And I forgot all about showing them on my video. I packed them all up and didn't realise I was at the post office. I thought, I haven't done a video to show what I've done. I think you've seen the peg bag, but you may have seen me crocheting the project bag, but so I had posted them off before I realised. I thought I could have put those on my crochet channel and got a few more views and a few more hours, because I've only got I have about 560 subscribers. I have to have 1,000 to get it monetized, plus 4,000 hours, like viewing hours. And I think I've only got just over 1,000 viewing hours. So even if I get the 1,000 subscribers, I still have to get those viewing hours before I can monetize it, which is 4,000 hours, which is quite a lot actually. Like. So I may do, if I do 1 or 2 more lives, I may do them on that channel just to get the viewing hours up on it, for the help with to get monetized on it. But like I'm saying, this one here is for my Just Knitting channel, which I'm doing a tutorial for this little cardigan with. But I'm still sorting out all the patterns that I do have to that are really just ready for me to type up and put them into the PDF format. There's the one with the 2x4 basket stitch. I was working that one out yesterday. I was just looking in the book and writing out anything I may need to change on it, but it will be up for testing once I get it finished and put it up. And then there's the other one that I did for Maria, the little cardigan, and I did a little cardigan, little hat and little mittens and little booties. But that one's only going to be a 16 and an 18 inch with it having the mittens and the booties and that. It's just meant for a newish baby. But I will do another separate pattern, maybe just for the cardigan in larger sizes after I do that one. But I've also had some Happy Mail today. I haven't got it up here. I'm going to have to go back downstairs and get it. I forgot to bring it up with me. So I'm just going to pause this video for a few minutes and go down and get it. So that's me back. And I have a parcel here. And this has come from Mary. You may know her as Amber on the comments. I think she calls herself Amber Falcon. Something like that. And I have opened it so I know what's in. And these are what Mary has knit for our friend Maria. She knit them and sent them to me to give to Maria. She's also sent me a note in with it. And it says, "Hello Sheila, a few items for Maria's baby." And she also says that if there is anything you would like to keep to sell in your shop, please feel free. Take care and big hugs, Mary. And her comment, Amber. But there's no way I'm keeping anything to sell. These are for Maria. I've got some sticky on there. So I'm going to show you what I've actually had them out and had a look, and they are beautiful. The little hat, it has a deeper lemon like the fold part, and like a bit of little dots of lemon on the other one. That's a little hat, and the little cardigan to go with it. Different pattern, but it's the same colour, isn't it? And it's lovely. This actually looks very similar to the Home Bargains wool that I get. With little spotty lemon colours in it. So that's a little V-neck. One of my patterns too. Put that one on there and the hat with it. Another little hat. And this also looks like Home Bargains wool. It's beautiful wool, this, to knit with the Home Bargains, if this is the same wool. And she's put a turquoise little turn-up on the bottom of the hat. And a little cardigan, like waistcoat style, with the little spotted print on the front, but all the turquoise all on the back. That's another one of mine. It's the same pattern as the other cardigan, but it's amazing how nice it looks with just that little bit pattern on the front. I may do that with one or two. I have one or two little balls like this left over. That's not enough to do a cardigan. I think Mary's given me an idea to do something like that with mine. So that's the turquoise one, with a little hat to go with it. And then there is a green one with another, it's like a ribbed, it's the drop stitch, the skip stitch rib where you drop the stitch down. That's what it looks like. That's a green one, and then a little cardigan. Another one of my patterns. That's the open moss stitch one. That's a lovely green, that. I like that green. I have some green like very similar to that I've put away for myself. I'm going to get around to using it one day. And then a proper little matinee jacket. Mary's put she's just clipped a little bit wool in the bottom to keep the two ends together, so that's not there for not part of the cardigan. It's just there to keep the pieces together for the bottom, because the buttons only go, the 3 buttons on the top part, that's all. That's a lovely little baby's matinee jacket. That's what I like to see babies in as well. I will have to work out some patterns for these type of things, little baby matinee coats, as well as little cardigans. So that's another lovely one. And then there's this. It's a beautiful blanket, and it has it's like I think it's the rosebud lace cardigan, but it's done what I do in the rosebud lace cardigans, the pattern. But I think it's opposite way I start off, when I do it, I start off with the 2 holes at the bottom and the single one at the top. This is just the opposite way around, the single one at the bottom and the 2 at the top. But it's the rosebud, like the rosebud lace, what I call. And the time it must have took to pick up all those stitches round the edge to put that border on it. That's beautiful border, that. You're a lovely knitter, Mary. I think Maria, is going to be very pleased with all of these. So that's a blanket for maybe a pram or a carrycot, something like that. So I will be taking them tomorrow for Maria when I go to my bingo night. So that's the happy meal, not for me, for Maria. So I'll put these back in the bag and keep them all tidy for tomorrow. Oh, I've chucked a hat on the floor there. I wondered where that one was. Must have dropped off the thing when I put it up there. So that was the happy meal from Mary. Happy meal for Maria. I'm going to have a drink of my tea because there's not much left and it's getting cold. And it's a good job I did a little test before I started this video, and just with the trouble I had with the sound on another video a couple of days ago, and the sound was right down again, and I don't know why. I checked all the settings again, and it's to do with the microphone, the input. The input is what I put in, and what it outputs. It had gone right down. You know, you have a line where it shows you the line how it go from nothing to 100, like this. And it was like there near the end, nothing. Because when I done a little test, I could hardly hear myself. So I've turned it up as far as it goes. So I'm going to have to keep checking on that. I don't know what's causing it, but it's not something I've done. I don't touch it. It just stays the way it is. But I don't know whether it's some update that's gone into the computer that's affecting that. I don't know, but I'll have to check some of the updates to see if there's been any updates to the sound, what controls the sound in the computer, but something is doing it. But anyway, I have my knitting to get on with and other things, and so I give you a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you all another time. So bye for now.